Okay, try it again. Hit it, Izzy.
Hey guys, welcome back to Meyer Studio Sketch Club. My name is Izzy, next to me is my dad Jason, and just behind us is my mom Cindy. Tonight we'll be doing two 10-minute sketches. Before we get started, my dad will take a few minutes to talk about his approach before sketching starts at 7. Take it away.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. Let's jump right over to the iPad and talk about what we'll be sketching tonight. And then I'd like to show you where you can find some of these images, so if you'd like to work on your own. So the first one we're going to be working on is the flower from Sunday. I only worked on the front one. I agree, great intro is. That we was expecting more of her. This is her first time live streaming as a 12-year-old, so
Woo!
Good job, kiddo. So I'll only be working on that front flower, and then what you'll see today, I'll remind you of what I did. Based along this movement right here, I built out, and we said light on this side, shadow on this side, then we treated this like a cup, a little darker in here. And what I'm going to do today is work on the background a little bit. And what you'll notice is I don't go the same from top to bottom, but I'm going to work in kind of layers across, and that'll accentuate that flower kind of being vertical by showing different horizontals back behind it. So that's the abstract idea. You'll see that happen, and it'll probably make more sense after you see it happen on the video. Then for our second image tonight, we're going to go back to this sunset landscape. And as I said on Sunday, we've got a big dark against a big light. So tonight what you'll see me do is develop the trees a little bit and develop the foreground more, and then start getting into that most of the sky down there near the horizon with the clouds, indicating that just a little bit. All right, so with that taken care of, I know that was a little bit fast and furious, but I wanted to make sure, let's see if this is going to cooperate with me, to show you guys where you could find.
I have it ready.
You have what ready?
Oh, when you're done, you will put it in the comments.
Oh, okay. If you go to the website, jasonmeyer.com, if you come over here to Sketch Club Live, you'll see reference images pop up. Just click on that, and you'll see the reference images for this week's Sketch Club. Feel free to pop them open, and then you can work full screen from them right there. Okay? Unfortunately, there's no downloadability at this time, but if you wanted to take a screenshot or something, you can do it. But you could always work right from the page. And of course, you can go right to the next ones if you wanted to. And they're all right there. Okay. So okay, so Sketch Club Live right there. Some of you guys have been asking if you felt like throwing in a couple of bucks for Sketch Club or anything else, you're welcome to do it right there under your support. Okay? No obligations, but some people have been asking how they could support the program, and it's as easy as that. All right, so I think, well, I even made it on time, 1 minute. Hey, look who's here. Mr. Furman made it. Hello, Uncle Mike. Nice. Jan made it. Tom's here. Randy Pound made it. All right, guys, I hope you got your gear. We're going to get going in about 1 minute. About, again, 10 minutes tonight. Janny's got her stuff and is packed, ready to go. All right, well, my clock says 7 o'clock, so let's go. Okay, so what you see on the screen now is the 5 minutes we spent Sunday on this. It was just in there really rough. And now I'm going to kind of highlight some of these petals so that we see them better by having a dark background. Oh, look at that. She rocks it, doesn't she, Randy? Got another nice intro there, Izzy.
Good job.
Good job.
Stupid paper cut.
I'm working with the vine charcoal here, and although it looks just as dark as my shadows, I'm going to be able to rub those out and also make my shadows darker with my compressed charcoal. Ah, look, Claudia wished you a happy birthday. Happy birthday. Did you get a paper cut?
Yeah.
And sketching is dangerous. I tried to tell you.
Oh,
You'd think I don't do anything all day. I'm out there braving paper cuts and whew, fumes. You got no idea. Dust in my nostrils and in my nose.
How do you get dust with painting?
Charcoal, yo.
Oh.
All right, we're having some epiphanies here tonight. Hope you guys have some lights going off.
Stop it. It takes me a second.
Well, you don't know till you know, but once you know, whoa, watch out.
Do we need a reference image?
Do we need a reference image? Maybe. Do the rest of these people want to draw with us? All right, there we go. Sorry, guys. I got a little excited having a 12-year-old next to me.
And that I don't know what charcoal is.
You're doing a great job. So what I'll do with that dark that I'm doing right now, rather than just leaving it as a blob, I'm going to take it edge to edge, so to speak. So it works its way all the way across our drawing there. And that'll just look better, and again, just give it a little better feel than if it's just a big dark blob back there. Like if it was a landscape or something, maybe that's a bunch of bushes or hedges or a grove of trees back there. Could make it into anything we want, but the idea is just to have something visually interesting. So what's going to make that flower more interesting? You can add some color to your drawing. So it's important that the flower is stronger than our background, meaning that the light is lighter and then the shadow is darker. Now that I've got some of that darker background on there, you see that's the same value of that shadow that I had down there. So I'm going to have to come back and then darken my shadow on the flower.
You're gonna do that?
And remember, that shadow ran across that curve so that our flower stayed alive and active. There's the end of that curve right there. And then it goes from that dark shadow on the inside and then back to the shadow on our little tube as our flower goes into the stem. Excellent. Are you going to unblob it a little bit?
Trying to.
Okay. Cool. Okay. This is just a stump. It's something you can use to, you can also use your finger just to kind of smooth the tone out, even the tone out a bit. And don't remember that when, especially if you're working on the toned paper, the tone of the paper is one of your values. So we have our white, we have the tone of the paper, we have our vine charcoal, which ends up being gray, and then we have our dark, which is our compressed charcoal. And what I'm working right now, that's going to end up being darker, but I'm just getting ready to kind of soften that edge in there. Here comes the darker, finally. So come back and work like just all the way from this side to this side and stay thin. And it'll really help those petals stand out if the edges show a little light hitting them or a little shadow depending on the way they're turned. That'll help give a little pop to that flower. But you probably wouldn't want to do it evenly all the way around. Remember, we want to get in and out of all these shapes, so we need open edges. We need places where we can get in and out. That's the way I sketch anyway. You want to do it a different way? Go for it. Go for it. We will not be coming by to check your work, so you are free to do it however you please. Unless you're Izzy, then I'm going to be looking right over your shoulder. See if I put a little, just a shadow on the very edge of that? It helps you focus edge, helps say that this is a flat leaf, even if it's bending and curving. When I say it's flat, it's like paper thin. It doesn't have volume like a piece of fruit or something, an orange. So if we focus on the edge of those things with some dark shadow or some white on the edge, that's going to help that look flat. Did you wear yourself out with your birthday?
No, I wore myself out with dance.
With dance? Dancey dance? And again, this isn't very long. These aren't going into museums. More than anything, it's just us stretching our muscles, trying to say something different, learning a new language. Here's this edge. Here the edge comes. Again, I try to keep it from being a complete even line. Right? You don't find that in nature. And you usually don't find it in good art either. Usually. Okay, it looks like we have a couple more minutes here on this one. So I generally work for those big pieces, and then if I have more time, I'll come back and develop into the smaller pieces. But we want to, part of these exercises for the sketches is to see the big pieces fast. Right? We want to see big pieces because that makes it easier to design, to move around, to manipulate, to control before we get into the little pieces. She's pulling on the eraser.
I like to watch you sketch.
So you finally admit it.
Sure. I'll admit it.
Wow, you've changed. You've changed since you were 11.
It's been 2 days.
I know, that's why it's freaking me
It
out.
hasn't even been 2 days.
You're
It's only
different.
been 24 hours.
I think it's because you decided to go grunge.
What?
It changed you. Your hat.
Your hat.
Oh. It's Baby Yoda.
Grunge like in the olden days. In the before time. I guess that would be your before time,
Way
huh?
back. Yep.
Wow.
I guess so.
Yes. And again, what I'm doing here is I'm working on the measure. That's a really light, but those petals are turned under. Actually getting a lot of transparent light through them. So I want to show their shadow, but I don't want to go heavy like the background or like that tube. So by working with 4 values to start, it helps us break it down into big pieces. And then again, we can go back and adjust the measure of those pieces or subdivide it into smaller pieces if we need to develop. All right, well, that was all at 10 minutes got me. What did it get you? How'd you guys do? So for our landscape here, even if it's a little bit hard to see, basically what we want is the whole land mass is going to be dark. And we want to show more than one land mass. So we want our first land mass to be a little darker, a little heavier, the trees to be darker. And then when we move back over the knoll to the next one, we want that to be just a little weaker, and that'll go back. And then if our hills are a little weaker, maybe even tie into these clouds right here, that's going to give us some interesting shapes, give us a sense of distance, and help pull our eye where we want them to go, i.e. on that sky and those clouds just above those front trees.
I like watching him. I finally admitted it. Jeez. Gosh. Yeah.
What kids will do not to do their homework. I like your stuff, Dad. I really do. Can I just watch you?
I will take back what I said.
I'm just teasing you. I'm just teasing you. So that little bit of dark up front, I don't want it nearly as dark as my land, but that is the sky, which is a little darker. And it needs to be a little darker, again, to push our eye down to the lightest light around those clouds. Right? It's almost like a telescoping effect. We want to bring their eye to the point in the picture where we want them to look. Right? And if somebody brings, say, X amount of energy to a sketch or a painting or anything else, if you're diffusing that energy by saying, hey, look here, and hey, look here, and hey, look here, and look here, and look here, and look here, and look here, you're also diffusing the intensity of the work. So the work's not going to have much energy or impact. But if you save or ask all of their attention to go into a small part of the canvas or small part of the drawing, then with all that energy drawn there, it's going to be more impactful on the viewer. And their imagination's going to take over and fill in all those details that you thought you had to show them. Okay, so what I like to do is think of how would I like to escort the viewer's eye through, and notice I said through, the drawing or the painting. And I said through and not across because I'm thinking of taking them three-dimensionally through my work. Not only up or down across the canvas, but in and out of us as well. Right? And then I work off of that idea, or I impose that idea upon my reference and kind of marry the two. Right? So we're not copying, but we're creating, we're designing. And in particular, we're designing with 4 values, with the white, the tone of the paper, the gray of the vine charcoal, and the dark of the compressed charcoal. Look, I've hypnotized Izzy.
I'm watching him.
I'm just kidding. It's mesmerizing. It really is.
Izzy had a big day today, so
You've got to hand it to me.
I'll hand it to you. I do hand it to you. You are something else, kid.
You do not hand it to me.
Yes, you've
You
got
are-
what it takes to be a kid.
Hey.
Hey, that was a shout out to Michael Furman there.
That was cringe.
That was not cringe. Come on. Come on.
Talented.
So what I'm doing now is some darker up front so that it looks like those trees are back there. And noticing these little grasses and stuff I'm putting in here are actually taller than those trees back there for a sense of perspective. And then as I'm going back through the field, these little dark marks are going to get smaller and smaller, again, for the sense of space, for dimension, for going into the canvas. Right? You don't have to do anything to the paper, to the canvas for them to go from one side to the other or up or down. The artist has got to bring something new. And that new is depth. Depth.
Did you just say depth mention?
Did I say what?
you you started.
Dimension.
Dimension.
Yeah, but you started the. What was the other word you just said?
You think I said dead mention? No, I said dimension. That's what I meant, dimension. Before it's dead, it's die. So dimension. Any other questions?
That's the word depth.
Depth.
You started with depth and then you went into dimension.
Yes, depth.
And you mushed it together.
Well, depth and dimension are mushed together.
Wow.
The ideas, the concepts, they're in the same realm, same sphere, which is also dimensional.
I walked into this one.
So, you know what? If you were sketching, you wouldn't even notice this. It'd be a lot less. It would be a lot less painful.
Oh.
Your dad wouldn't sound so cringy to you.
You always sound cringy.
Oh, yep, she's in the grunge phase. Again, just giving you some help walking you back to those trees. So you're not having to walk all lonely back there with nothing to do, nothing to look at. Oh my God, how long is it going to take to get to those trees? Oh, look at that bird, look at the bee, that's a pretty flower. Right? Want to be, oh, look, we're at the trees. I didn't even know we walked all the way across the field. Got to make it interesting. Got to make it interesting. Right? Maybe Pounder. Hey, Randy, you want to, maybe you could animate, like do voice reactions or something to the videos. We could have a screen of Randy on here, and I'll just talk, and we'll watch his facial expressions. That'll be more entertaining. Yeah. You need a gig, Randy? One that doesn't pay? Just kidding, bud. Just kidding. I wish I could afford you. You're worth it. So the trees back there, I finally got my senses to me. You notice how they're smaller than the trees up front? And I'm trying to make them not quite so dark either. And it doesn't take detail, it just takes that relationship. Right? And then by not letting it be all detailed, what you're doing is you're allowing the viewer to participate. You're allowing the viewer to bring their imagination to bear upon it. And so the viewer is actively participating in your sketch. Whether they know it or not. Their mind is putting together and trying to form these things. And that's a more satisfying experience for the viewer, a more engaging experience for the viewer. And it'll make your work seem more alive or have a sense of life to it, a sense of actuality. Oh, dude, we can't afford him. Look, he works for food. All right, we got you covered, bud.
If he works for food, then we can just hire John.
What? We just hired Gianna, but Randy Pound's good. That's the difference.
The voice
No, I meant they both work for food.
They were, oh, get them going as a thing.
the fit sticks.
Well, we'd feed you whether you're working or not, bud. Not sure it'd be food worth eating, but you're. Well, we usually don't give a lot of thought to our meals. We're usually pretty busy going, yeah, that's edible. Throw that in our mouths. So I know, not very artistic. Not very artistic.
No, that's not true. We put thought into the food we're picking out of the leftover fridge.
Right.
Yeah. We're shining bright tonight, fellas. We're shining bright.
But we had to make the leftovers somehow.
Yeah.
That's true.
Oh, are we out of time here? Let's see. Yeah, that's about it for tonight. That went fast. So Thursday night we'll be back, and we'll spend 20 minutes actually on this landscape is what we finish up the week. Did I do the landscape or did I do the flower? Now I can't remember.
You did something. Wait, can I look?
It'll be before that. Anyway, we'll do one of those. And before we do that, why don't we rerun tonight in about 1 minute, and you can see the big patterns happening.
Here's my man.
All right, so bring one more over. Let's see.
I think you're working this one.
Yeah, so we work on the landscape on Thursday. So again, adding the difference in the background so that the flower passes through different values and making that go all the way across adds so much. Hey, Reenie made it. Hey, Reenie.
Hi, Reenie.
Good to see you. Good to see you. I sent you a little text today, Reenie, about my lights in the studio. I hope you got that. Oh, did you?
I sent her an email during class.
Oh, never mind. Sounds like you did
Tag
need it.
team.
There you go. All right, so hopefully some of these things I say, and again, it's never one time, but it's about building up the material, and that's why I like charcoal, because it's similar to oil paint in the way we can build it up and build up those layers. All right, well, I hope you guys had a blast tonight. Remember again, if you're happy with what you did, please share your sketches in the comments, and make sure.
What is happening?
Make sure.
I'll look away for 1 second.
Please make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can catch the reruns here on the page shortly after, or we post them to our Meyer Studio YouTube page. So if you get over there, please like and subscribe that page as well. We will be back in the morning doing a painting demo, 9 a.m. It'll be the second demo on Apple of Our Yard. It's great having you here, Mike. Thank you.
Yes, thanks for joining.
So at 9 a.m. if you're in class, I hope you'll be there for live on the demo on this page, Meyer Studio. If you're not in class, it's a freebie, so feel free to join us on there. All right. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Good night.